Hey, so we are back. Look, feral lovers, please don't be upset with me. But like I was saying, it's just not for me. So I've swapped back to Guardian, and I didn't miss any abilities. I did take the talent Blood Frenzy to generate rage each time that it deals damage. So every time that yeah, every time I apply this dot, it's now going to, and it deals damage, it's going to give me some more rage to use. So, anyways,
Goddess.
what do you have for me, Cyril? Are you heading to the south? Lake Almaneth? Alameth? If so, then I have a task that I might ask of you. My colleague Denelin has a camp along the eastern end of the lake where he is studying and experimenting on the plant life of Teldrassil. He requested a package of rare earths from Darnassus, and it was late, only recently arriving here in Dolinar. Can you take the package to him? Alright, I guess I'll be the errand boy. If you're wondering why, if like perhaps if you're looking at the top right, you're noticing the stuff here on my interface. That's because I recently have actually gotten into on my high level. I recently got into PvP on my max level high geared Demon Hunter main on the Alliance very recently, and I realized looking at the maximum amount of health that opponents have actually kind of helps determine who to try and take down first. So that's why that's there. So, but then again, I'm sure none of you guys noticed it. You have something for me? Ah, it's here. I have waited for this rare earth for quite some time. I hope that it's still fresh. Thank you for bringing it to me. You are a night elf who is generous with her time. Now let us place this rare earth in my planter. Let's see what happens. Thank you again. This rare earth will be very helpful in my experiments.
How may I help?
Oh. The Timberlings of Teldrassil are elementals of nature. In some ways, they reflect the natural order of plants and animals in our great tree. That's right, there are nature elementals. So it is disturbing to see how angry the Timberlings are, particularly considering that things should be healing. I want to help hunt down the source. I have been working on different methods. Oh my gosh, other players! That's something that does irritate me, that when you're, looking through that, and it's like, oh, come on, Because then they'll turn in something and it makes him do something else. And it's like, come on, man, I was reading that. Alright. I want to help hunt down... Oh my gosh! Ignore that. That's not supposed to happen right now. Hashtag other players. I love how that person turned that in and now is not even bothering to attack them. You'll see what I mean later, when we get to that. Just gonna wait for them to leave. It's like, go on. Get out of here. That's right, I forgot. Hardly any players ever actually read the text anymore. Come on. Okay. I want to help hunt down the source. I have been working on different methods of nurturing plants and would like to try them on Timberling seeds. Please, can you gather seeds from Timberlings around Lake Alameth and bring them to me? The small Timberlings are sprouting around the waters of Lake Alameth. I'm afraid these sprouts are beyond help. We should try to clear them from the land before they grow large enough to cause trouble. When you're wandering the lake, if you see any Timberling sprouts, please take them. Help keep our land clean. Okay. So here are some sprouts right here. Open up, let me take it, and then they close back up. Feed me, Seymour. Ooh, hello. I got a pattern. Oh, did I take that from the player? Aw. Okay, I'll let you have that one. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Take it.
It is too far away.
Okay. See, that's the kind of stuff I actually like to see. Just that little friendly interaction between players. Where I'm like, you can, it's like, go on, take it. And they're like, no, 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 it's okay. All good, you take it. You know, I mentioned that I just started getting into, you know... See, there's a difference in the different types of PvP in this game. There's different kinds, I guess I could say. There's the open world PvP, or world PvP, war mode, I guess you can call it. And then there's the organized competitive PvP. So, I've mentioned probably in other videos that I do not really like, you know, the whole war mode, open world PvP thing, which is why I don't ever use war mode. Except for the one occasion where I did have it on mainly to get the essence, but that's more so a endgame BFA thing. However, I will say when it's organized, you know, and it's fair, because that's part of the problem with open world PvP is the unfairness. I could turn war mode on when I get to Stormwind with this character who's only level 16, and I could be, you know, hunted down by a max level character and just one shot, and they'll just stay here and just keep camping my corpse over and over, not because they're gaining anything, but because they think it's funny. Or it's fun. I've actually heard people say, it's the only fun I have in this game anymore. It just makes me roll my eyes and just like, ugh. Can't stand that whole mentality. That's the disgusting part of the PvP aspect of this game. I absolutely hate. By contrast, I will say I actually have come to been enjoying the competitive PvP. Battlegrounds, I mean, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's aggravating. And then there's the arena. And I will say that I've been enjoying my time in the arena, though I'm sure the fact that my the character I'm using being very well geared probably has something to do with it. And yes, I know, some people are going to say, well, it's because you're playing an overpowered Demon Hunter. Yeah, but I think an undergeared Demon Hunter would not be doing as well. When you are a geared Demon Hunter, yeah, then you can probably say it's really, really strong. But, you know, the point is that it's also from someone like me who was never into PvP before, and this is literally my first time trying it. I've actually gotten up to, for those of you who are, say, PvP players in the viewer audience watching this, I've actually made it to 1600 in 3v3. I actually find 3v3 to be much more fun and enjoyable than 2v2. I can understand why people do 2v2 much more so. It's easier to get into because you only need 2 people instead of 3. And it can be quicker because you can get matches over with faster and queue up for more. And just like very, very fast paced, quick paced. But it also feels at times like it's very easy to lose 2v2s because the 2 people on the enemy team will use all their crowd control on one character, on one player, and then just, you know, gank the other one. So I find having 2 teammates instead of 1 to be much more enjoyable and beneficial and such. With you. But anyways. Do you have the seeds? I am eager to plant them. Ah, you got them. This is good. I'm hoping that careful study might lead me to understand where the Timberling corruption stems from. I will plant these seeds in special soil that I have prepared. I believe that the seeds will sprout into Timberlings who are much more docile. Perhaps later you can see the results.
Elune, light your path.
Have you found any sprouts near the waters? Oh, that's a lot. I'm afraid that they're spreading at a dangerous rate. I hope I can solve the riddle of what is tainting them. Thank you for your help. The land is a cleaner place from your efforts. Nelfneeks, can you take one of the seeds that you brought me to my friend, Relian Greenspire? He's a druid that resides at Wellspring Hovel, and when last we spoke, he revealed his interest in my work with the Timberlings. He had some ideas himself, and he will appreciate a specimen seed to work with. Thank you. I hope that someday you will see the fruit of my labors. You will find Wellspring Hovel along the road heading west out of Dolinar, on the way to Darnassus. By the way, you probably noticed, I don't think I've actually addressed this. Ooh, there's some more over here. You probably noticed that in quite a bit of the text for these quests in these starter zones, they will have a tendency to actually have directions for you. Now, this actually is something that I'm sure a lot of players, old school players, will love, especially if you perhaps have played the Elder Scrolls games, specifically Morrowind. See, this is something I've actually heard some people criticize about later Elder Scrolls games, such as Oblivion and especially Skyrim, is the idea of written down directions as opposed to just map markers. Now, I know it's a very controversial topic. I don't mind map markers because I tend to get lost very easily. Even if you write down directions for me, I'll be like, wait, what? So I do like having the option for map markers, and I'm in that field of saying, okay, let's have the text in there, but let's also have map markers, just to have, like, you know, the option for both, just for best of both worlds. But anyways, this is something they actually did back in vanilla, because there were basically no map markers back in vanilla. Like, and I've experienced this in WoW Classic, where the map was very just, like, bare bones minimum when it came to, like, paper maps and, you know, markers on the map and such. So you had to use the directions in the text of the quest that you were given. Now, remember what I said earlier about how a lot of players don't even bother reading the text in these games for the quests. So imagine how many of them would get lost because they didn't bother reading the text for the quest and go, where am I supposed to go? So that's why you'll see a lot of quests with the text of, hey, if you want to go here, go down this road and make this turn here and blah, 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 blah. And that's how it was like in Elder Scrolls Morrowind. There were no map markers in Morrowind. It was just directions in the quest text. And you had to try and follow the directions based on what they said in the text from the NPCs. There were no map markers back then. Anyways. What an interesting glowing tree and fruit. Hanging from beneath the fronds of this glowing plant is a large round fruit. Denlen would want to study this fruit, you are certain. How interesting. Let's take it back to him. One last little thing for him to take a look at before we move on. Cannot wait for level 20 so we can have our travel form. Our elk form.
Can I assist you?
You look like you have something to tell me. Do you have news concerning the Timberlings? Actually, I have this. You found this on Teldrassil? Intriguing. This fruit is exotic. Perhaps its seeds were brought here from far off. Perhaps even as far as Azeroth. And there's something about this fruit. It seems to have reacted very strangely with the soil of Teldrassil. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must study this further. Let's see how these seeds grow in my prepared soil. Oh gosh! Kill! Boglings! There we go. Bogling roots. Increases pixel damage by 1 for 10 minutes. Huh. Fury of the Boglings. So yeah, obviously some very early kind of foreshadowing and such when it comes to things that were going to be happening later on. Like, oh, why is the corruption still around with Teldrassil and all that? You know, kind of like foreshadowing stuff that was going to be happening later on in Cataclysm regarding Fandral Staghelm and the whole quest, storyline arc that was going to be going on in Mount Hyjal involving Fandral Staghelm, Ragnaros, all them aiding Deathwing. So, how did I miss this one? You must now visit the moonwell that rests under the boughs of the Oracle Tree, far to the northwest, the first and most powerful of our wells. Its waters are said to possess the very essence of Elun's powers. Retrieve a phial of its water and return to me. I will meet you at the crossroads in front of Darnassus when your task is complete. Alright then. Way up there. Well, it's on my way. Of course, once I reach level 20, I can use any of my mounts. So. And that's another reason I'm actually getting into PvP is I'm trying to earn some more mounts. Some of the PvP mounts that are available. I got this! My guild and we did the cheese run for Jaina. For those of you who know what that is. And it dropped for me. I didn't even have to, see who it dropped for and then ask if I could have it. Because some were saying, oh, I already have it. And I thought, okay, maybe they'll decide to give it to someone who doesn't have it, like me. But no, it dropped for me, and I was like, yay! So so now my total right now is 273. And I'm actually going to be, let's see, how close is that towards the next collection achievement? 237 to 250. Now that's on this character, but I want to work my way towards getting the season mount, which is one of those war sabers, which looks so cool. I believe the horde side is a skeletal horse one, the bone seed, which also looks really cool. And I'm hoping I actually am given both of those mounts for pulling off the season reward with just one character. Hello, how may I help you? Ah, Timberling seed. I wanted to try growing one of these to help Denelin with his studies, but I'm afraid I've discovered that a corruption has grown in many of the Timberlings, and seeds from such creatures carry their parents' taint. They are beyond my talents to repair. Denelin is very skilled with things that grow. He may find a cure for future Timberlings. He may be their only hope. That's a cute name for a night elf priest. There is a malevolence growing in the Timberlings. We are trying to find the source, but until we do, in order to keep Teldrassil safe, we must cut down the Timberlings who are beyond help. Those that wander Wellspring Lake to the north are the most tainted. They must be removed. Destroy the Timberlings you find there and gather the mossy tumors growing upon them. Bring the tumors to me so that they may be burned. Wow. Okay then.
Hello.
Some more trainers and such. Alright. Go ahead. Empty out the stuff in the bags. Not a big deal. It's like, oh, look, I got an increased stat by, 1 for 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Lovely. Okay, so right over here, actually. The Tumas. That's definitely a Tuma. And speaking of what I was talking about earlier, man, last night I was my demon hunter. Was in a group with. Oh, I got a bag from one of those things. 8-slot bag. Replace one of my Yeah, there we go. Anyways, my demon hunter was in a group with a bear druid and a holy paladin. And man, our bear druid, he was good, and he was geared, and man, he was doing a lot. And just kind of opened my eyes, because usually you hardly ever see tanks in arena PvP. It's usually always a healer and damage, or 3 damage. Like, you hardly ever see tanks or come across tanks in PvP. And seeing him just absolutely, be awesome, it was just kind of like, oh. And it made me start to go, I wonder if my tank spec could do well in PvP. Like, as opposed to, I know, like, the DPS spec is insanely popular, and you see it everywhere. But tank demon hunter is also pretty nice. Especially with some of the stuff that I've gotten. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just check out the videos I'm going to be uploading. Or that I would have uploaded already by this point, of in my Demon Hunter playthrough for the Alliance content, BFA, when I did LFR Eternal Palace as a tank. And I went there very overgeared, but as a tank, that's not a bad thing. And people were like, oh my gosh, like they were looking at me and they were just kind of commenting. They thought I was awesome, mainly because I was like very highly geared compared to them. Because if you are using LFR Eternal Palace to gear, more than likely you haven't gotten very well geared at that point. So they were just kind of looking at me like, oh my gosh, look at our tank. He is like really highly geared and just doing awesome. Hey, we have travel form. That's right, I forgot. Druids actually get their some of their forms and abilities like 2 levels earlier. So now, aha. Oh, and I also have aquatic form, which means, yay, I can swim. I'm like a seal kind of thing, or a walrus. Though it's definitely more so a walrus with the Cultirans, because they have big tusks. But hey, now I can just go to travel form and run around a lot faster. Don't have to worry about swimming, because I've got aquatic form. Yay! This is one of the aspects about druids I absolutely love. And I cannot wait to mess around with the changes that they're making for druids in Shadowlands, where you can go to the barbershop and just specifically change your forms. Like, you can go there and you don't have to really change anything. You can just change what form you want to use if you want, which is great, as opposed to having to use, like these here if you want to use a specific form. Like, for example, if I want to use one of the bear forms from Legion, I would have to, make my weapons look like the weapons that I got from Legion, as opposed to, in Legion, in order to be able to use that form. However, with the way they're going to be changing it in Shadowlands, that won't be necessary anymore. Over time, Staghelm only grew more disconnected from our people. Some pose that he blames us, his people, for the loss of his son, long ago during the War of the Shifting Sands. Others cite rumors of his escalating conflicts with Tyrande Whisperwind, the shining light of our people, our leader in Darnassus. But many druids of the Cenarian Circle stand firm that he wants only what is best for all the Calderai, and serve him unerringly towards that end. Fandral Staghelm carries the burden of our sins and our follies, and in so doing deserves the respect of us all. Yeah, and that's gonna come back to, bite them in the butt, I guess I can say. Especially Malfurion, who's just gonna be completely shocked by this. But in hindsight, after what happened, they mentioned the War of the Shooting Sands, so it happened back in Vanilla, and after something like that, yeah, it's no surprise that he basically broke. I was dispatched with a small group of sentinels here to protect the Oracle Tree from the harpies that have made nests all around the glade. Little by little, we're trying to push them back. When the Oracle Tree attempted to send a runner to Darnassus with a report, the messenger was attacked and killed by a group of the harpies. If you feel up to the task, go to their nests, slay them, and return their belts to me as proof of your deeds.
Greetings.
Lady Sathra, Lady Sathra, there you go, was once beloved of Elune. Really? That was a beloved of Elune. Graceful and pure, the spider spun her silver threads through the moonlight, catching the evening mist. The silvery dew and had strong healing powers, and was kept at the nearby temple. But of late, Sathra has descended into madness. Her future generations are now threatened as well. Find Lady Sathra and end her suffering. You're asking me to kill a giant spider. I'm not going to feel sad or sorry about this in the slightest. So you can just kind of save the whole motivation thing or any of that. I'm like, nope. Gladly. Kill a giant spider? Oh, sure. Less of them around, the better. And we'll just take care of some of the harpies along the way. Like this one. Oh! Alright, fine. Ah!
I'm out of range.
Tag it, tag it, tag it, tag it, tag it, tag it. Here we go.
I need a target.
Oh, it's a Worgen hunter. Hello. Alright. Gotta get 5 more belts from these harpies. I love that. I love being able to use Moonfire like that, in bear form. And you wouldn't think that while in bear form that Moonfire would do that much damage, but it really does. I think someday I may return to, my Night Elf Druid that I left in WoW Classic after I got her bear form. Someday, possibly, maybe. I don't know. It's not that I actively dislike Classic, that much. I try to say that, it's just not for me. Even though there are things about Classic that I do find a little frustrating. But that's only because there are some things that I just kind of like, I'll just kind of help tag them for you. Oh, wait, I see I see. Okay, hold on. No. You come back here. You leave that hunter alone. Just trying to get by. There we go. Ta-da! Ooh, another of these fruits.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Uh-oh. Stunned. No! No! Alright. And what is this? It's another one of these strange fruits. The fronds on this plant shimmer in the forest light, giving it a twisting, pulsing aura. You believe that Denelin would want a specimen of this. Indeed, I'm sure he would. Ah! Got stuck. By the way, in case you're curious, you don't have to use this form. There are glyphs that you can get that change what certain forms are or look like. Like on my main druid, I actually have my travel form not as a big elk, but actually as a cheetah. I just thought the idea was kind of cool.
I am honored.
I regret the task that I have asked of you. Blah, 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 blah. The forest mourns for Lady Sathra. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
I am honored.
I am impressed by what you have accomplished here in so short of time. With that, I could ask of you to remain here to assist me with my duties, but I know in my heart that greater tasks lie ahead for you. Yeah, no kidding. The things that my character would be asked of in the future, you cannot even begin to comprehend. Alright, so we'll turn in these few and then we'll continue later.
What brings you here?
To be in the presence of the Oracle Tree, it is almost to feel wisdom take form. Along with the Druids, the Oracle Tree has been carefully monitoring the growth of Teldrassil. Our observations have been disheartening, but all is not without hope. The tree is indeed recovering since its blessing, but the growth is still somehow stunted, hindered. We suspect some portion of the corruption remains within the tree, waiting to be cleansed. We simply need to find it. There is one last moon well that I would like you to visit. It is directly south of here, on the shores of the pools of Arlithrian. Be wary as you seek out the well, and keep your weapons close at hand. I sense a growing corruption from the bowels of southern Teldrassil. When you have the water, I want you to bring it to a familiar face that you will see at the pools. She wishes to battle the corruption and has asked for you personally. I see.
Greetings.
Well done. These tumors are the symptom of the Timberling's disease. They are filled with a poison that we must cleanse from our new land. I will dispose of these tumors. Thank you.
Greetings.
Where did you get this? I haven't seen a plant like this since a sojourn that I made to the Swamp of Sorrows, decades ago. It's amazing that a specimen made its way to Teldrassil, and it's grown to such a size. Thank you. Forgive my shortness of words, but there's a test that I would like to perform on this front. I figured it out. I had to rush here to find you. It's so simple, really. The corruption has spread from Timberling to Timberling, but there is but one that is the source. Oakenscowl. He's being poisoned by the largest tumor that I have ever seen. I would call it a gargantuan, even. Oakenscowl used to reside in a cave near my lake, but has since found his way to a nook to the northeast of here. Hunt down Oakenscowl and collect the tumor. Remove this source of corruption from my home. And we will be doing that when we return. Stay tuned.